A Republican perspective on DCYF, IGT, Twin River, and more.
The Dan York State of Mind program is brought to you in part by Lookout Rhode Island and Taco Comfort Solutions.
Doing my best this week to kind of lay off the Washington scene, but the market's down at our record time in the early afternoon, about 600 points, and all I can say is, attaboy, Mr. President, this tariff and economic spike tweet program is just working out wonderfully. All right, I feel better. Glad to have you aboard. Thanks very much for tuning in. Blake Filippi is here. He's the minority leader at our state house. There's a lot of, I don't know, summer turbulence going on when it comes to how we're going to deal with the IGT Twin River situation, and DCYF is still something that is a major focus. Big hearing last week. We had the chairperson for the House Oversight Committee here last night, Pat Serpa, and we will talk to a member of that committee, the minority leader, sits on that committee, about that matter momentarily. In the meantime, let's just get to what the important things are, like this, the Little Leagues. The World Series coming up, beginning tomorrow for Barrington as they represent Rhode Island. Rhode Island now, 5 of the last 6 years, has been the New England representative. But alas, we have problems here. The New Hampshire newspaper quoting the New Hampshire team from Goffstown saying that the Barrington team cheated. More headlines. Yeah, they say it never happened. And so serious was this matter that the president of the Barrington Little League put out a press release yesterday. And while I took this story to be somewhat, tongue-in-cheek, giggling a little bit, he emphatically denied that this stuff goes on.
Do you steal signs, yes or no? Let's get right
No, we do not steal signs, Dan. And I appreciate it. This is the first time in our 68-year history that Barrington's going to Williamsport, and it's a great experience for the kids. It's great for the town. It's great for baseball. But you raised it earlier, right? I think you said if somebody had been stealing signs, then what would have happened is that somebody would have been ejected from the game, and nobody was ejected from the game. No umpire found that anybody was stealing signs, and the reality is no one was stealing signs. Okay, there was no unsportsmanlike behavior.
By the way, this Little League thing, in some ways, has gotten completely out of control. It's a multi-million-dollar business. One of the things that I've always been aware of is that we get kind of romantic about our 11 and 12-year-old youngins and the softball. Now the girls play the softball, and that's good. I mean, at least we have gender equity there. But we get all mushy about our 11 and 12-year-old athletes, and then they get zits and they grow and they enter puberty, and at 14, 15, and 16, you can barely find any family members or anybody else out there watching them play in the hot summer. They get on big diamonds, the 90-foot bases, and they're kind of in Neverland. But when they're 10, 11, and 12, we just soak them up. And look, I still remember most of my games in Little League, so I understand it's a real-life experience and kind of a joy, and the town gets excited, and I'm happy for Barrington, and if they're stealing signs, I don't care. I really don't care. The Little League phoniness, this notion that it's unsportsmanlike to steal signs. Look, if a pitcher and a catcher can communicate with their fingers silently, if a coach on third base can get this, and this as to whether to bunt or steal, then those who are viewing that can try to decipher the very idea that they're doing this is to prevent you from knowing what they are doing. Let paper down, will you, minority leader? Heaven's sake, can't take him anywhere. So if I'm doing this, it means I don't want you to know. If the belt is the indicator, and then this is this, and then you should, right? So if I've picked up what you're doing and relay that to somebody on the field, I'm playing at your game. Little League is full of it with this unsportsmanlike thing. It's just ridiculous. And I feel badly for the Barrington team how to recognize the controversy. But here's the thing. That big crybaby coach in New Hampshire should have talked to Little League about it, and they should have done something officially. And what's funny is the coverage of it this morning in the Providence Journal, where the Barrington coaches are saying, listen, these kids miss my signs 95% of the time. How can they steal the other guys? Anyway, go Barrington. You know, win one for the sign stealers. Anyway, on a much more serious note, the House hearing on DCYF was last week. Here's Eyewitness News coverage of it.
We are beating a dead horse somewhat again.
The House Oversight Committee met to follow up on the devastating child advocate report released earlier this summer, detailing the case of a 9-year-old Warwick girl who died. She was found unresponsive in a bathtub.
There's just no lying our way around it because the truth comes out.
The report revealed the state ignored complaints about the adopted mother for years, ultimately concluding DCYF was partly to blame for the death.
Speaking of this case directly, I think we were all, and I still remain concerned that, one woman could adopt 8 children with such special needs. I think we all agree in the room about that. I'm asking, one of the second recommendations was, please increase both pre-adoption and post-adoption supports.
Another recommendation, get more staff. DCYF recently announced a plan to hire 23 additional frontline workers, costing the state about $2 million. Lawmakers were happy with that news, but questioned changes around other positions, like who's getting promoted, especially if they were linked to the fatal case out of Warwick.
So only one person who was kind of involved with this case got a promotion.
Yes.
You're saying?
Yes.
You're on your way out the door, and whomever comes in is going to inherit what you're leaving behind. So it should not matter to you if you present the truth today as you know it. And if you can't, somebody in your department should.
The stress on Trista Piccola's face is almost immeasurable, don't you think?
Agreed.
Thanks for coming in.
Happy to be here.
Still any signs out there on Block Island?
No.
Our
Old Town Road sign has been gotten stolen recently, though.
Oh, no.
Because of
I read
that new song.
Yes. Can't keep it. Yeah, it's in somebody's dorm room somewhere,
Exactly.
I'm just going to have to add to the budget. In all seriousness, your role on this committee is an important one. What's your executive summary as to what the status is at DCYF right now?
It's an understaffed agency in crisis.
Succinctly said. What's the solution?
I think the solution is a top-to-bottom review of the way it does business, the way it's structured. It's middle management heavy. It's management heavy. The frontline staff is understaffed. The caseworkers, they have anywhere from 19 to 21 cases with multiple children in each case, and the national average is 14 children per frontline worker. They can't get the job done. They need more frontline staff, something Republicans have been fighting for.
What's the money value?
So during the budget debate, after our first oversight hearing, when the child advocate Jennifer Griffith told us you at a minimum need 19 more frontline social workers and 6 more caseworkers to certify foster homes. Because we have about 500 foster homes with kids that haven't been inspected yet. You need a minimum of 19 social workers, 6 more foster home certifiers. And we put in a budget amendment to do that. That budget amendment was defeated. It took $2.1 million from the film tax credit, which was $15 million last year. It's getting jacked up to $20 million this year. We said, let's just jack it up to $17.1 million. Actually, it was $2.9 we needed to hire this needed staff. Over the past 15 years, I think DCYF is approaching 300 less staff.
Isn't it almost irrelevant? Not that I don't appreciate your creativity. You're looking for nearly $3 million more in funding. You say, okay, let's take it from here. I understand that, and it seems common sense and practical to do so. But in a zero-based budgeting formula, you put the money in based on what the need is, and then if there's no money left for another need, you have to assess whether that need is a priority. In other words, I think all the taxpayers in the state would recognize that DCYF needs to be fully functional. Nobody wants to see stories like the tragedy we saw in Warwick. And if it's self-explanatory, I don't understand how that thing can go underfunded. I don't understand it. I mean, the hundreds of millions of dollars that we spend on it anyway, so you're $3 million short to get the frontline work necessary, hopefully to prevent that which we have already been traumatized by and lost a life with, a little one's life. Duh.
I don't get it, Dan. It's a core government function. If you can't take care of our most vulnerable children, you don't have business doing much else. We put in the proposal.
And so when you went to the, I'm gonna belie my own set of questions here, but when you say, you know, let's take it from the movie tax credit, what you're saying is that's not necessarily a core government function.
It's not a core government function.
And that's why you went there.
And so last week,
and I'm sure there's plenty of other non-core government functions.
There's plenty. That one was getting increased from 15 to 20. We said, let's just increase it to 17.1.
How about the grant program?
The legislative grant program, $25 million to the Fane Tower. There's a lot of places in that budget that we can take from to take care of our vulnerable children. And I'll give you an idea of how wrong this went. Last week, DCYF announced all these new hires pretty close to our budget amendment. They don't have the money for it. Director Piccola said at the oversight hearing last week, we don't know where we're going to get the money. We don't have it. We might have to come for supplemental appropriation from the legislature or submit some type of corrective action plan.
Is that the Raimondo, that goes to the top? The governor more or less authorized that to happen and let the chips fall where they may on the General Assembly?
Yes, but if they had passed our budget amendment, they'd have the funding. So they kill our budget amendment, gets voted down. Thank you to the 8 Democrats who joined the Republicans.
But this is the interesting part that people don't understand. The they is not the same they. So they, leadership in the House and then the Senate, kill your budget amendment. But the other Democrats who don't get along with the General Assembly, the Raimondo administration and the Speaker are not in line. They don't speak the same language.
Director Piccola, at our June oversight hearing, when the child advocate, Jennifer Griffith, said, at a minimum, you need these 19 caseworkers and 6 extra certifiers for foster homes, I specifically asked Director Piccola, what do you need? We're passing a budget in a week. What do you need different in the budget? Nothing. She would not agree with the child advocate who was sitting right next to her that these minimum additional staff were needed.
And then they went ahead and hired.
And then our budget amendment is defeated. 7 weeks later, DCYF announces they're going to hire all these people exactly similar to the Republican budget amendment, but we don't have the money. It's shoot from the hip. It's just shoot from the hip governing with our vulnerable children.
IGT Twin River next. We'll tell you the minority leader here has gotten better and better at punctuating an argument. Sometimes things just don't need to be said anymore. I don't know if we'll get there here. I'm not in sync with the Republican mantra on this controversy, IGT and Twin River. We do expect a representative from Twin River to come here next week sometime to weigh in on this. If you missed the IGT chairman, Bob Vincent, you can go to foxprovidence.com and hear my conversation with him about their perspective. What's your quick take? What's your hot take on IGT Twin River?
I haven't seen the contract yet.
Nobody has.
No one's seen the contract yet.
The Senate President and the House Speaker had a joint communique with the governor yesterday, a letter which was a proper letter, I thought. It asked for all the due diligence. Sure, of course. I mean, that's necessary.
I got a nice mailer from IGT
but a lot of you guys
have
been running around. I'm not going to pin this on you until you say it here, but this Republican mantra has been that this thing has got to be part of a bidding process. I'm not sure I believe that. I want to see the diligence before I have a final word myself as just a taxpayer on this. But the idea that we have to run to a default position because we think bid process is reflective of fair government, even playing field, I think it's lazy thinking. But your instinct is what?
Short of a bid, of course, I want the bid. There needs to be extensive.
Why do you want the bid?
Why do I want the bid? Because maybe this is the best deal we can get. Maybe Governor Raimondo is 100% right, but it was negotiated behind closed doors.
Everything's negotiated. That's a cliche. Everything's negotiated behind closed doors. Everything's negotiated. I mean, you want to keep the door open? Fine. But it's all behind closed doors.
The door needs to be thrown wide
Duncan
open.
Cherry negotiated behind closed doors when he set this deal up years ago.
It needs to be thrown wide open, and I think that it'll give the public a lot of confidence that this is the best deal if we explore and find other deals. Right now, I don't know whether this is the best deal.
Here's the challenge.
Maybe there's another company that will put 1,200 jobs here. Who knows?
Yeah, but Leader, the problem here is that it would be very hard for the General Assembly to create a construct where jobs are part of a bid process. That's the difficulty. The economic development deal that exists between IGT and the state is an intimate one where jobs can be part of a negotiation. A bidding process is a whole different ballgame, and the jobs that IGT have are worldwide jobs. So they may bid for the contract for the lottery in Twin River, but they only need 60 personnel to execute that bid. They're bidding all over the world, or competing all over the world, or contracting all over the world, and the employees that are downtown are doing worldwide work. That worldwide work can be done anywhere. And now that they've got a European owner, they might think, you know what, that building downtown's too expensive, let's sell it, let's get out of here, let's go to Vegas where it's hot. I mean, that is a real issue for those guys right now. So you're going to have to, I don't know how you wedge that job retention into a bid process.
Okay, so there are similar services provided to other states much cheaper than the proposal has them being provided to the state of Rhode Island.
You're talking about the machines costs.
Machines, lottery, there are cheaper ways of doing business.
Cheaper doesn't necessarily mean effective.
Cheap, effective ways of doing business out there right now. I think we need
How overpriced is this deal?
So I think that one of the provisions of the bid has us paying $12.5 million versus another state that gets it for, I think, $2.7. So there are inflated.
What that number is what number?
I think it's Massachusetts. I think it's for the online, not the online, but the lotteries.
12.5 versus 2.7 for what? I mean, this business is worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
It's one portion of the bid. So IGT does our lotteries, it does our VLTs.
Right.
So there's
two separate deals.
Yeah, two separate deals. But like one portion of it, Massachusetts is paying significantly less than we're paying. I think what IGT wants per year or makes per year off the deal would be 12.5, and I believe in Massachusetts they're getting it for 2.9. So I get the point is that if we're going to pay this premium, which I think we are paying a premium to have IGT do this, I want to see, is it worth paying that premium? Is this essentially a type of subsidy to keep these jobs here?
The diligence that has been required is so necessary. I just think the knee-jerk, and I think it is knee-jerk, this kind of default notion that this arrangement for the lottery and for the machines at the casinos going forward must be bid is a premature notion. I agree that you've got to find the diligence to see where the fat is and then do an analysis as to whether the jobs and the investment we've made and the tax breaks that we gave for them downtown match up to the premium that is alleged to have been, set up here in terms of their cost of doing business. But that's got to be done.
But how do we know?
And the Raimondo administration has done a poor job of explaining all of that.
How do we know what the premium is without going out there and saying, "Hey, company in Las Vegas, what could you do this for?"
You just did a comp in Massachusetts, and I have to look into exactly what number you're referring to for what particular function. But comp per unit, per square foot, per whatever the unit measurement is something that they're in 27 states across the country. They are the world leader in this, so maybe we ought to be looking at that too. I agree. I think the leadership did the right thing. Let's get some information out there. I just think that the Republican mantra that's gone on here with the party itself, and this has got to be bid, this is a non-transparent government. There's 3 companies in the world. This one's homegrown. There's a lot of economic development here. Prove to me that that project is worth the investment that we're making, and the numbers work both ways. But don't require that this thing go to bid simply because you think that's the right thing to do.
I don't know that we can determine that this is the best contract without those comps. And I think the way you get those comps is by seeking alternative proposals.
I don't think you're going to get the comps that are going to include the jobs. That's the conundrum.
I get it. What is
you can't put a bid process guarantee, looking for a demand. You're not going to be able to put a bid process in with a guarantee of $1,000, $100,000 jobs.
What if the bid says you do these services and tell us how many jobs you're willing to relocate
and you
to
must
Rhode Island.
house yourself here? Guess how many people are going to bid that? 0.0.
And that will prove this is the best deal. What you just said will prove that IGT is the best deal.
No,
and if that happens, I will be the biggest advocate for this. But we don't know what's out there. We don't know how much more we're paying.
I want to see you. I want to see you write the bid, and when you write the bid that actually draws the competition, then maybe I would consider that. But right now, I mean, I'm not the jurist on this, but I'm suggesting that it's all busy work. It's
I'll write it right now. Bid provision 2.3, specify how many jobs you're willing to relocate to Rhode Island for a term of 20 years.
$100,000 high-tech internet-based gaming technology jobs?
Agreed. Thank you for amending my proposal. Yeah, we'll put a number on it, Dan.
The point is you're not...
That will prove you to be right.
But no company's going to make that guarantee.
Well, we have a company making that guarantee right now. How do you know there isn't a competitor?
Because they had a one-on-one economic development deal, and that's the difference.
We have companies relocating to the state all the time because of economic development deals. There may be a company
that's... And too many winners and losers, as you and I agree on.
Agreed. So essentially what this is more paying higher to keep jobs here. And whether that makes sense or not, I don't know. There could be a better deal out there for the state. This may be the best deal. We won't know unless we have alternative proposals on the table.
I just think I think it's a default position that sounds good and doesn't make any sense. But we agree that we need to get the diligence. There's no doubt about that. You know, an interview doesn't resolve the whole thing, and a meeting with the governor doesn't either. A word on education when we come back. We're still arguing the bid process. We only got a minute. Listen, Providence schools are a wreck. That's not your district. The Republican position on what I think should have happened, Raimondo, the governor, calling the legislature in to toughen up the Crowley Act to let the new commissioner do her job. She didn't do that, but it still may be necessary. You guys have an open mind as to, you know, coming back and giving her the foundational tools to be able to do a real takeover?
If there's any allegation that she doesn't have the tools she needs, I think we immediately come back and strengthen the Crowley Act.
Simple.
No, we don't let the court process play out. We don't let this thing get delayed. We immediately come back for a day. I'll suspend the rules for that and toughen up the Crowley Act. Well, we don't want any court cases.
That's sportsmanlike, because you've been playing games back and forth with the speaker on rule suspensions, just the fun juxtapositioning that goes on between parties. But I appreciate your position on that, because as Providence goes, so goes the state. And we got to fix that thing.
It's got to be fixed, and I don't know if we can wait 10 years. I feel for the children who are there when there's leaders saying it's a 10-year process.
I feel your feeling. Thanks. Blake Filippi, Minority Leader. You know, actually, the Minority Leader and I were just joking that the only thing we can, well, amongst the things we can agree on this Twin River IGT thing, is that if you're a lobbyist and you're not employed by Twin River or IGT, you need to find another line of work, because that economy is thriving. We got to do a little investigation on that. It is unbelievable. Tomorrow night, the president of the Providence City Council on this education matter, Sabina Matos, will join us. And by the way, on Friday night, Mike Martin, head basketball coach at Brown, his experience at the Pan Am Games and whether they steal signs in basketball. I don't think so. Good night.